What do I mean by the ruins of neoliberalism? Ruins refer to something that has been crumbled or aged, but is not gone. And I am using ruins in this sense. I don't think we're by any means past neoliberalism. I don't think that neoliberalism is over or giving way to something else. That's our challenge as movement activists, as people who think and work and organize for a different world. Our challenge, I think, is to bring us something else after neoliberalism, but it's not gonna give way of its own accord. I think neoliberalism is in a certain kind of ruination, but also has had an effect to ruin several things. First of all, there's the obvious, the economic. What did neoliberalism do? It dislocated and decimated communities and regions as capital was unleashed and deregulated, as the social state was stripped out, as unions were smashed or weakened, as many local businesses and industries were displaced by global ones, as progressive taxation was replaced by regressive taxes. But neoliberalism, I have argued for a long time, is much more than economic policy. It's also a form of governing reason that valorizes markets and traditional morality as the only good forms of organization. After 40 years of these economic policies and this form of reason, what we have are a wrecked middle and working class in most industrialized societies as capital fled to cheaper sources of labor and production elsewhere in the world, and wages plummeted and infrastructure and schools crumbled. We also have wrecked and discredited democracy. That's part of the effect of neoliberalism. It directly assaults democracy. It discredits popular sovereignty, legislation, social justice, redistribution, equality. And in its place, it valorizes markets, traditional morality, and an undemocratic state. What happens at the same time is that neoliberalism generated new extremes of economic inequality that the neoliberals themselves had not counted on. The fact that 8 individual men own more wealth than the nearly 5 billion humans in the bottom half of the world's wealth scale. Now, what did this do? It allowed for something the neoliberals had not planned on, which was a plutocratic takeover of states and institutions. This plutocratic class is also antagonistic to democracy. It's willing to use law and political power to enhance its position, but it will do everything it can to suppress democracy. So it's the opposite of what the neoliberals had in mind. Why? Because what the plutocrats have done is build a kind of rentier economy, and what Piketty calls a plutocratic rentier political economy. So all of these are among the ruins of neoliberalism in which current political formations take shape. Now, add evangelicism, huge in Brazil and other parts of Latin America, and huge in my country. Add nihilism, the devaluation of values and an unleashing of a kind of aggressive will to power, and put the plutocrats together in a coalition with the evangelicals, which is what Trumpism is and what Bolsonaro is as well. Together, the plutocrats and the evangelicals demonize democracy, demonize the social state, and valorize a particular form of freedom that is aggressive and antisocial. And what you get is an extraordinary base for authoritarianism, promises to restore a world that neoliberalism wrecked, a world that was stable, secure, relatively homogeneous, and organized by traditional patriarchal Christian values. Now, it can't actually do that, but that's the promise. And that's my argument about one source of the rise of authoritarian or neo-fascist political formations today.